So a new patch for the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1 shadow dropped a few hours ago, patch 1.11. I was at work at the time, so I'm not exactly sure when it dropped, but either way, it's here finally. Before we begin, you know what to do. That like button ain't gonna bite, and it does help YouTube to push my videos out to more people. The more that you watch, the more that you like, and the more that you comment. But let's get back to why you clicked on the video in the first place. As you can see here, NetherRealm Studios and Warner Brothers have once again left out anything resembling patch notes. So we don't really know what this patch did, but it's a simple assumption to make that this patch is the same patch as the last patch that released on the PS5, Xbox Series, and PC a week ago, which addressed the desynchronization problem that has been ongoing ever since Quan Chi released in the middle of last month. It's a problem that caused you and your opponent to both get kicked out of an online match, and it happened way too often in Combat League and in casual mode. And they actually did release another patch for this exact same problem like 3 weeks ago, which ended up not fixing the problem at all. But it would appear that with this patch, which released a week ago on other consoles and today on the Switch, they finally were able to actually fix this desynchronization issue. So that's good. But the Switch version is another thing altogether from the other versions of the game, and it has its own set of problems, so some detailed patch notes for this version of the patch would have been greatly appreciated, but we're gonna test some things anyway and see if anything changed. If anything got fixed or if anything got broken. By the way, I did play some online matches after patch 1.11 for about an hour, and I didn't get a single desynchronization. So it might be safe to say that the Switch version is pretty good on that now too. But if any of you guys are still experiencing the problem, let me know in the comments down below. The desync problem was extremely frustrating for MK1 players, and for me too. I mean, like every time that it happened, I just wanted to shut the game off. It was so frustrating. So it's no wonder that Mortal Kombat 1 has seen a huge drop off in players. But in any case, let's take a look and see if anything is different. So as you can see, the character loading in the character select screen is still a bit choppy. This is in offline versus mode though, so it's actually smoother than it would be in an online match. I will reiterate what I've said before regarding this, but NetherRealm really should consider making the characters here into images instead of animated models just to improve the performance, you know. They could maybe even get rid of the moving background and leave that as a still image as well. I mean, they did it for MK11, I don't see why they can't for this game. Another thing that I would like to see is in regarding Combat League. You know how when you get matched up with an opponent in Combat League, the stage is chosen at random for you? Well, I would really like it if Johnny Cage's Mansion, Sundo, the Tea House, and Wuxi Academy were the only playable stages in Combat League. I'm talking only about the Switch version though, because I've noticed that those 4 stages are pretty much the only ones that don't lag the game. Actually, you know what? I think Ying Fortress is pretty good too, but for the most part, I've had pretty much only bad experiences anytime I'm playing on a stage other than the ones I mentioned here. As far as Invasions mode goes, for the Switch version specifically, I can't tell if anything was changed. Performance in single matches and Invasions is still pretty smooth, but when it comes to the endurance battles, they can still lag pretty hard like you're seeing in the video right now. It is worth mentioning though that since this is pretty much the same patch as what released on the PS5 last week, then as far as Invasions goes, they did lower the requirements for the Season 3 Sayonara clue from 9 connected sides to 4 connected side tosses. And they also fixed any progression laws for first time users. Personally, these changes do nothing for me because like I've said before, I don't play Invasions, I don't like it, I think it's horrible. I only subjected myself to this for your enjoyment, but I will reiterate, please NRS get rid of Invasions, please just get rid of it. Cutscenes in story mode still have some pretty bad screen tearing. I don't think that's a problem that they're going to be able to fix, honestly. I think they would have been able to fix it by now, if they were going to be able to fix it at all. Loading casual matches still takes about 20 seconds, and as far as loading Combat League matches, well, that seems to be a bit iffy. KL matches take longer to load than casual matches, probably because Kombat League matches still load the intro where the characters talk to each other. So on average, a Kombat League match might take about 30 seconds to load, but sometimes the game hangs and takes a minute or so to load the match. I'm thinking this happens whenever the game chooses one of the heavy duty stages. Casual mode is very consistent about quick loading, but KL is very inconsistent. Like I said, sometimes a KL match might load in 30 seconds, other times it might take a minute as the game hangs. All in all, with the recent problems that have been going on with MK1, players across all the platforms have been abandoning the game, and I don't think any version got hit harder than the Switch, since it already had a pretty bad reputation because of the horrible launch. The player base was always kind of lower, but in the last 2 weeks, the player base has really dipped. So if you have Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, or you're looking to get MK1 on Switch, you should know that we've got a major DLC character coming out in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be Peacemaker. Like I guess he's like some kind of comic book character. Apparently he's very popular. I never heard of him until Mortal Kombat 1, but whatever. We'll probably be getting a big trailer for him within a week or so, but when he comes out, it's going to revitalize the game. And with the desyncs fixed, I think a lot of the players that come back will probably stick around. So having said that, I do have a Discord where you can find online matches in MK1 for Switch. You can find a link to that in the description, and you can also talk about other things. Another thing to mention too is that Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch is still currently 40% off on the eShop. So instead of 70 bucks, it's 42 bucks for 3 more days. So get on that if you are interested in playing this game for the Switch. But having said all of that, I'm going to keep bringing you more combo videos, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switchplayed. Done.